obviously when the 76 came along, you were really impressed.
Yeah.
And even yourself probably thought maybe you weren't going to be. Really impressed by the Ineos.
Yes.
I would say early on. We probably haven't covered it as hard as we went at the 76, but I'd still say that your reports are fairly glowing on the Ineos as well.
Yeah, definitely.
What car has impressed you more from the first, say, you've had the Ineos for a couple of months now. What's impressed you in those first couple of months?
I think you mean what's impressed me about the Ineos between the cars?
What's probably has one or the other jumped out in front of the competitor? They're not competing.
Like versus each other.
Yeah, what's probably jumped out more to you, the 76 or the Ineos, if that makes sense?
So I'll rephrase your question because I think you're asking out of which of these two cars has impressed you the most from the start of that car individually?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If that's, I might be making any sense now.
No, that makes sense. I would say, look, the Ineos Grenadier, I was expecting to be good.
Yep.
Right. So that's where that vehicle had to live up to expectations.
Yep.
Has it done that? Yes, so far it has.
Okay.
The downfalls of it, those I'm working through, and there's ways of working around it. And that's the fuel and the left foot thing, which is not really that much of a problem, really, the left foot thing. With the 76, that's a bit of a different mindset because I remember when we did a podcast in Sydney.
The new 70 series with the Hilux engine.
Oh, yeah. They're now bringing out a four-cylinder, 2.8 litre. The look's growing on me, actually, by the way.
It has?
I hate it to start with, but I actually don't mind it. It looks kind of classic. It's like the old classic Toyota.
Yep.
So they're putting in the 2.8 litre. They're putting in a 6-speed auto. Now, having had the Hilux version, the same, I'm guessing it's the exact same running gear. I put 33s on that, and I never got 6th gear ever again. So bye-bye 6th gear. So bye-bye fuel economy. So what I'm concerned about is this vehicle here. A lot of people put 33s, 35s on them. Is it going to be geared to hold that? And if it is, that'll be fine. So it might be okay on fuel. But given the shape of that thing, Hilux, Prado with that engine, they're very much more aerodynamic. With the 70, once you get to 90, above 90, you're just chewing a fuel. 2.8 litre, is that going to be able to be more fuel efficient? Maybe around town, but what if you start loading it up like this vehicle over here? You start putting all that stuff on it. Imagine a 79 with everything on it, and it's up to like 4 tonne, which a lot of 79s are. They are up to 4 tonne. I mean, they're over GVM, some of them under, but let's face it, they've got a lot of gear on them. Is that gearbox going to be able to handle it? What are my thoughts on the 2.8? And I said, it's possibly the dumbest thing that Toyota has ever done. I would never, blah, blah, blah. Could you imagine putting weight on it and blah, blah, blah. And then...
So your expectation on the 76 is much lower?
Was low.
Yeah, gotcha.
Very low.
Okay.
And I understand why everyone else has such a low expectation because you look at it, the face value of it, it's a 76 series with whatever gearbox and motor that the Hilux had, and you slap that into a Land Cruiser and then you call it a Land Cruiser. Like, that just doesn't sit right with people, and didn't sit right with me. But then when you drive it, they're like, what is going on? Is there something they've done to this car that just makes it better than how it was in this other car? What have they done? And it's just about the gearing.
Yeah.
It's simple gearing, and then obviously tweaking the gearbox, tweaking the cooling. The way it tows is just incredible, So that's why that car impressed me so much.
Yeah.
And because I wasn't a big fan of autos, it's impressed me heaps.
Yeah. I think that's well answered.
Yeah. And I think that's why I was so disappointed about the Land Rover Defender, was because I had expectation that it should be a Defender. And then they had all this tech in it, and it was just over-the-top tech, that too far in the software. So, and that's what I feared that the Grenadier would be.
Okay.
That's why I'm bringing that up. But the Grenadier, the tech that's in that is simply, it's like simple off-road tech, but it just looks over the top because of the way they've done it. But the face value of it and what's behind that is simple tech.
Yeah.
You just got to know the sequence of doing things. So if you look back at the first video I might have done with it, it's like it's a bit confusing with this locker button and all that. Once you know it, it's okay. But during the trip when we swapped cars, Jono was in the Grenadier, and we had this situation where we had to drive it up a rock face, and he couldn't work out how to get the locker in. I tried to explain it, and it was going over his head because, and I get it because he hasn't had to do that. So there's a particular sequence. So anyone who owns a Grenadier who's actually used it proper for off-road, they will know what I'm talking about. Anyone who hasn't used it proper off-road yet, hasn't required lockers yet, they're going to find out.
It was a little bit. I remember you trying to tell us how to do it when we were sitting there, Jade and I.
Yeah.
It was a little bit fiddly.
Yeah, it was fiddly, wasn't it?
But we're just not used to it, like you say.
Yeah, it's hard to explain. You got to kind of. It's almost like you got to make the mistake to understand what the mistake is. Yeah.
They say that's how you learn.
Well, yeah.
I've heard that.
Yeah, you've heard that.
I've heard that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not mine.
Well, that's why we make mistakes. I mean, that's why it's okay to make mistakes, because that's how you learn. Just don't make a fatal mistake, because you're not going to learn from that one.
Yeah. What's the you either win or you learn. Rather
win or lose. Yeah.
You win or you
I like
learn.
that
Is
one.
that the saying?
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, that's a good one.
Yeah. Very good. Thanks, Ronnie.
You got to learn to lose before you can win.
Yeah. Nice.
Forward Drive Podcast, motivation.
You gotta. Nice.